All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at an absolutely fascinating intersection of macro geopolitics, environmental crisis, and bleeding edge AI. Think about that contrast for a second. The hyper-digital world of AI colliding head-on with the very messy, physical reality of our industrial waste. We're going to explore how a localized AI-driven smartphone workflow, specifically the 905 Wood digital refinery workflow, is solving a massive geopolitical waste crisis. We are talking about fundamentally shifting from international trade dependency to engineered economic sovereignty, all driven by the devices sitting right in our pockets. It's a brilliant example of technology stepping up to solve real-world, physical problems. To give you a quick roadmap of where we're headed today, we'll cover 6 main areas. 1. The looming waste crisis. 2. The border bottleneck. 3. The sentient bridge solution. 4. The digital refinery workflow. 5. Verification and compliance. And finally, 6. Engineering economic sovereignty. Starting off with Section 1, the looming waste crisis. First, we really have to look at the ticking clock that's putting immense pressure on our industrial ecology right now. Because this is the dire reality we're currently facing. Municipal waste is piling up fast, and the international safety nets we've traditionally relied on are fraying badly. Historically, a lot of waste from Ontario has just been shipped across the border to Michigan because of lower disposal costs or existing private contracts. But relying on another jurisdiction entirely to bear your liabilities, that's an incredibly fragile strategy, especially when cross-border friction inevitably increases. 9. That's it. That is the number of years of landfill capacity the province of Ontario currently has left. Just 9 years. In terms of municipal infrastructure, that is literally tomorrow. And this situation is severely exacerbated by the commercial sector. According to an Auditor General report, the non-residential sector, which creates at least 2/3 of the province's waste, only diverted 15% of its waste in 2018. You have over 1.5 million establishments that just aren't properly regulated, and waste generation is steadily increasing. It is a massive, looming municipal liability. Which brings us to Section 2, the border bottleneck. Because if the local pressure is on, what about that safety net of exporting the waste? Well, moving waste to Michigan isn't just a matter of loading a truck anymore. The bureaucratic hurdles are staggering. We are talking about dealing with legacy, remediation information, data exchange systems, strict EGLE notifications, and demanding 5-year record retention mandates. Plus, under Article 9 of the bilateral transboundary agreements, you face escalating transportation costs and comprehensive insurance liabilities just to get the materials moving. And the financial risks of making a mistake? Absolutely enormous. Under very strict USMCA and CUSMA rules, to claim any sort of duty-free status, you need a verifiable certificate of origin at the exact moment of entry. If you fail to prove your waste origin with that certificate of origin, it instantly triggers denied entry, massive back duty assessments, and 10% Section 122 global tariffs. Relying on manual paper trails in this kind of high-stakes environment simply destroys your margins. So, moving into Section 3, the sentient bridge solution. This is where we pivot away from all that cross-border chaos. This concept represents a complete paradigm shift. Instead of paying exorbitant premiums just to truck raw wood waste across a hostile border, the 905 Wood digital refinery processes and upcycles that carbon-rich stream locally. It bypasses the political noise entirely. It literally acts as the sentient bridge, translating chaotic, unregulated construction waste into highly valuable, ultra-strict biocarbon feedstocks. And here is the essential link making this all possible. Astonishingly, this isn't happening in some massive, centralized cloud server room. This is happening right in the hands of field operators at the intake yard. By operationalizing the Google Pixel 10 Pro running Android 16 and leveraging the immense power of the Tensor G5 chip, the system utilizes advanced AI models like Gemini Pro and Claude right there on the device. It is a masterclass in edge computing. Let's dive into Section 4, the digital refinery workflow. We need to see how this builds a localized solution through a micro-level process. How does a field operator actually use this day to day? It's remarkably streamlined. The operator simply points their camera at a chaotic pile of waste. Thanks to turbo-quant compression, the device runs the offline LiteRT AI stack for semantic categorization with zero latency, even if they have no cell service whatsoever. The computer vision instantly executes a 12-stage toxicity characteristic leaching procedure, or TCLP, pre-screening to identify species, moisture, and contaminants. Then it instantly feeds that data to generate a dynamic request for quote, estimating the exact yield of high-purity biocarbon. The immediate financial impact of this is striking. Because this on-device process officially validates and diverts the wood waste under the Ontario Government OREG 347 General Waste Management Regulations, operators completely avoid the standard $60 per ton landfill tipping fee. Suddenly, the economics of diversion immediately become more profitable than the economics of disposal. On to Section 5, verification and compliance. Because obviously, with all those international trade rules we talked about, how on earth does a smartphone app replace all that dense paperwork? This is where the digital refinery application workflow UI/UX output PDF documentation features really take center stage. Instead of relying on highly vulnerable paper trails that can get lost in a filing cabinet or easily disputed at the border, the system completely automates verification and compliance. It outputs a fully compliant, cryptographically tagged file. It actually embeds a SHA-256 hash of the on-device scan directly into the PDF metadata, establishing a 100% tamper-proof chain of custody. This brilliantly illustrates how the technology replaces the old way of doing things. You no longer have to navigate these clunky legacy RID databases or sift through dense notification emails. The digital audit trail cross-references the scans material with HTSUS Chapter 38 classification rules. So if a customs agent or auditor ever requests verification, the operator just pulls up the PDF. It guarantees tariff-exempt status and proves strict compliance in literally seconds. Wrapping things up with Section 6, Engineering Economic Sovereignty. Let's zoom back out and see why this deeply technical, localized workflow matters so much for the future. By processing the waste domestically with this workflow, you avoid the transportation premiums and mitigate cross-border insurance liabilities entirely. You turn garbage, a massive liability that's quickly eating up those last 9 years of landfill space, into a premium domestic commodity. Ultimately, by operationalizing these tools, 905 Wood secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy. It proves that while trade pacts face rolling uncertainty and endless political friction, upcycling waste domestically relies purely on unshakable physics and economics. I really hope this explainer leaves you thinking about the incredible potential of Edge AI. We aren't just talking about a faster way to fill out forms. We are talking about using localized computational power to turn our biggest environmental liabilities into our most valuable, auditable resources. The future belongs to those who can build these sentient bridges. The only question left is, when borders close and landfills fill, are you ready to engineer your own economic sovereignty?